Namaste. How is everybody doing today? I hope you're feeling excited. I am. Today's episode is going to be juicy. We're talking about erotic intelligence. Everyone's heard of emotional intelligence? Today we're talking about erotic intelligence. So, what is erotic intelligence? Erotic intelligence is our ability to deeply, truly understand and embrace and harness the energy of our sensual and sexual nature. And this transcends the purely physical act of sex. It extends into ultimately every aspect of our being. It expands into our emotional well-being, our psychological well-being, and definitely our spiritual understanding of ourselves. Because erotic intelligence encompasses self-awareness. Without self-awareness, we can't have erotic or emotional intelligence. And it requires a profoundly deep emotional connection, number one, to, and most importantly, to ourself. And to do that, we have to be vulnerable. We have to have a level of vulnerability, which takes a lot of courage. And it also takes a lot of creativity. And when we have this level of self-awareness, emotional connection, vulnerability, and creativity, we have the ability to experience profound pleasure. And I'm not just talking about genital orgasm, full body orgasm, but not just full body orgasm, soulgasm, where your whole being is vibrating in the pulse of the universe, in that unification of Shiva and Shakti, divine masculine, divine feminine, the creative force of the universe, and consciousness inside of ourself as ourself. What that requires is cultivating a relationship with your own desire. Once we have cultivated and understand our own desires, it requires courage and to share them with another person, to share them in harmony with another person, and recognizing that this erotic energy is a vital life force and it's present in every aspect of being. We can't create anything in this world without it. We just don't know it, and it's uncultivated, and so sometimes our creations are less than divine. So what does that tell us? That tells us that our erotic intelligence isn't just limited to sexual acts. It's the energy that fuels all of creativity. It is the energy that fuels relationships, and it's the energy that fuels our spiritual connection. It's deeply tied to our self-expression, to our joy, to our vitality. And ultimately, it's a bridge. It's a connection between the physical experience and the soul's deeper understanding of itself and the soul's deeper need for communion. In this context, erotic intelligence is not just a skill. It's an embodied way of living authentically and with purpose and with passion. Our nature is Satchidananda. That is pure bliss consciousness. That can't happen without both emotional and erotic intelligence. I like looking at things from the Ayurvedic viewpoint because Ayurveda is life. Ayurveda explains all of life and the universe perfectly. So erotic intelligence is a modern term, but there has to be a connection between that erotic intelligence and Ayurveda. So what is that? What is that connection? How does Ayurveda view this? Ayurveda views human beings as an interplay of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual energy, right? So at its core, Ayurveda recognizes life force, our prana, flowing through every single aspect of existence. Do you think that excludes your sexual energy? Of course not. That's ojas. Your sexual energy is ojas. That's the fuel that fires us. That's the fuel that keeps us going. That's our longevity. That's our vitality. It's considered the most potent form of energy, actually. It's the Kundalini Shakti, that serpent energy that motivates creation. So erotic intelligence, really, it aligns seamlessly with Ayurvedic principles because it completely integrates sensuality, creativity, emotional connection in the broadest understanding of holistic health. It embodies the whole being. So it's not simply just a sexual behavior or a sexual act. It's the balance of all energy in the universe. In Ayurveda, we want to look at it through the view of the three doshas, vata, pitta, kapha. Those are the biological energies that are derived from the five elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. What else is there? That's everything here is made up of that. Each dosha, as we know, influences our physical health, our emotional and mental tendencies, and to a large extent, how we understand who we are ourselves. So we want to look at how each dosha type relates to erotic intelligence. Each dosha has a unique impact on our erotic intelligence because it shapes how individuals experience and express their sensuality and intimacy. So let's explore that a little bit. Yeah? Is that okay? Sure. So for Vata, remember Vata is air and space element, and their primary traits are creativity, spontaneity, and quick adaptability. So their erotic expression may look something like a Vata type would be highly imaginative, and they enjoy novelty with their erotic lives. They're drawn to emotional intimacy. They want that emotional intimacy as well as mental stimulation. And they like to find connection through shared ideas and dreams. When it's really out of balance, it can get into some perturbed fantasy. But for the most part, a healthy emotional intimacy and mental stimulation is essential. When it's in balance, a Vata experiences anxiety, insecurity, restlessness, and that can really hinder a Vata's ability to connect fully with their partner or even themselves when they're that scattered, right? Spaced out, literally spaced out. So one of the challenges that a Vata might face is overthinking or a lack of grounding, and that creates difficulty in staying present in intimate moments. It could lead to fantasy, which is not a good idea when you're connecting with the person in front of you. The other scenario is Vata does get prone to anxiety and fear, and so there may be a fear of rejection, which can also dampen the erotic confidence. So what a Vata can do to cultivate their erotic intelligence is practices that are grounding. Very simple. Doing oil massage, doing all the things we know for Vata, eating sattvic foods, staying hydrated. But when it comes to eros, when it comes to intimacy, slow, mindful touch, meditative exercises, breath work, eye gazing, connecting at the heart, which all these things help to cultivate a deep presence and connection to keep Vata present. And if you are with a Vata partner, you can help them by holding their heart with your hand, putting their hand on your heart and holding each other, looking at each other, helping them to be mindful and breathe, reminding them that you're right here, they're right here. Just gentle, mindful touch and breath work. For a Pitta who's predominantly fire, their traits tend towards incredible, intense passion. They're very intense, actually, and sometimes goal-oriented, which may or may not be beneficial depending on how that's used. The Pitta erotic expression, Pittas have a very strong sexual energy. They're very enthusiastic. They're very naturally confident in expressing their desires and helping others to express their desires. And they're very passionate lovers who thrive on mutual respect and, to an extent, intensity in the relationship. They give full devotion and attention to their partner, but they expect it back as well. So when in balance, they can challenge their passion into immense creativity and exploration within the erotic life. However, Pitta, like everyone else, has challenges. And when a Pitta is out of balance, they become irritable and they can use excessive force or excessive focus. And they can also focus on perfection in intimacy. It's not performative, Pittas, okay? It's not a performance. You're not a porn star. You're not being paid for this. It's about you and your heart. And the other challenge that Pitta may experience is jealousy. And in that jealous state, they may struggle with vulnerability. And they might, in that vulnerability and jealousy, prefer control over emotional exposure. It's not safe for them to express their emotion. So what a Pitta can do is, what does a Pitta need? Cooling the mind, cooling the nervous system. They need soft, sensual massage with cooling oils, cooling breath work, anything to balance that extra fiery nature. And if you're with a Pitta partner, really encourage their emotional openness. And they really can use a lot of playfulness. Playful intimacy enhances their erotic intelligence. So really just if you're with a Pitta partner or you're a Pitta yourself, be emotionally vulnerable. Have the courage to be open. It goes so far. With a Kapha, remember Kapha's water and earth element. Kaphas are naturally stable, nurturing, and they're naturally sensuous. They're filled with sensuality. They're the essence of sensuality. And their expression is this deep sense of patience in their erotic connection with sensuality. Sometimes for Vata and Pitta, they're too patient, actually. But they're patient, they're present. They value the emotional safety of what's needed to become emotionally present before sexually present. But what they provide is long-lasting intimacy, and they prefer that slow, steady approach. Their nurturing allows others to feel deeply connected, to feel deeply loved. They're deeply profound, connected lovers, and they prioritize their partner's needs, sometimes at the expense of themselves. But they're selfless. They don't care. They're there to nurture. When the kapha is out of balance, they do become tamasic or lethargic and, to an extent, codependent or overly dependent. And they resist change. They don't really need the creativity that a Vata and a Pitta may need, or they may not realize that they need it. And their tendency can be towards routine. And with routine, it blocks or hinders that spontaneity, and it blocks exploration. If you're stuck in a routine, you're not looking for anything more to challenge yourself, to go beyond that. So what kaphas need is stimulating practices, really, like dance, adventurous play, anything that can like rekindle the passion. If you're with a kapha partner and you're not a kapha, really encourage new things. Bring something new into the bedroom and invite new experiences into that intimacy. Expand the erotic horizons. And so those are the three dosha types and the predominant erotic expression. We do need to explore the mental types as well, the sattva, the tamas, and the rajas, because that's a major component. Each of the three doshas has a component of sattva, rajas, and tamas, and depending on what's dominant, there's going to be tendencies as well. Remember, the three gunas. Sattva is the pure state, rajas is active or passionate state movement, and tamas is inertia. So there's definitely an influence on our emotional, mental connection with our erotic intelligence. If the mind is predominantly sattvic, it's calm, it's balanced, it's harmonious. It's very peaceful. It's beautiful to be around. And the erotic trait associated with this would be one who really seeks deep emotional and spiritual connection in their intimacy. That is first and foremost. And it views both sensuality and sexuality. There's a difference. But it views sensuality and sexuality as a sacred act of expression of divine love. It's worship. It's bhakti yoga. And how a sattvic mind would cultivate this is through these practices of tantra, both ancient tantra and neo-tantra. That's with breathwork, touch, using all the organs of perception. And also having a strong meditation practice, doing mantra chanting. All these things enhance the sattvic connection to erotic intelligence. If someone's sattvic and their partner's not, I don't know how well that's going to work out long term, because that's really the sattvic mind wants to elevate everything. It takes it only in the spiritual realm. With a rajasic mind, it's a little different. Now, a rajasic, you can have rajas and sattva together. You can have any combination of the three mental gunas, just like a combination of the three doshas. And they're always changing. We can be 1 minute one way and another minute another way. There's no right or wrong in that. But a rajasic mind is energetic, it's driven, it's passionate, and they thrive on passion and excitement and dynamic energy in relationship. And the challenge is that they may sometimes seek external validation or become overly focused on just the physical aspect of intimacy, forgetting that there's a spiritual component to it. So what a rajasic mind could use is that mindfulness practice from a sattvic mind that grounds and calms the mind, doing pranayama. In daily life, doing slow yoga, doing yin yoga, restorative yoga, and anything that's going to balance the energy, that's going to calm the excessive mind down. And then a tamasic governed mind, it's difficult to actually cultivate erotic intelligence there because they're filled with inertia, dullness, and there's a resistance to change. And there's often in a tamasic mind a major disconnect or a lack of enthusiasm in erotic life. And they tend to avoid any situation, erotic, sensual, sexual, or just in life, where they have to be vulnerable or have emotional exposure. And so for that tamas, they need the help of a vata or pitta, a rajasic or sattvic friend, to stimulate them. If they're motivated enough, they can do active breathing, intense activating pranayama, activating exercises, doing strong vinyasas, moving the body very well. And also just stimulating the tamasic mind by engaging conversations. Anything that's going to awaken the movement, the circulation of the body, get the blood flowing, get the heart pumping, get that blood flowing to the reproductive system, awaken that sensuality. So in Ayurveda, in yoga, in Tantra, there's tools that cultivate a deeper erotic intelligence, just like with anything. So meditative practices, meditating on Swadhisthana chakra, the root chakra, the sacral chakra. Muladhara is the root, Swadhisthana second chakra. That's the creative chakra. That's where creativity, sensuality come from. Do visualization meditations to connect to our inner desire, our sensuality. And like I was saying, the tantric practices, the tantras, the tanmatras, the organs of perception, seeing, tasting, smelling, touching, hearing, using these in a ritualistic way, combining physical, emotional, and spiritual realms together. So doing synchronized breathing, eye gazing, mantra chanting, having candles, having aromatherapy, using fragrant oils for massage, things like this, these tantric practices. But the main thing is dedicating the practice to the divine, dedicating the practice to our higher selves, to love, for the benefit of all sentient beings. And on a very, very tangible level, Ayurveda uses herbs, uses aphrodisiac herbs, ashwagandha, shatavari, safed muesli, gokshura. These herbs enhance our vitality and our ojas. We do want to seek doshic appropriate herbs, what's right for our constitution. We want to have a doshic appropriate diet that nurtures our energy flow, that nurtures our libido. What is medicine for one person is not medicine for another. Another really good practice for cultivating our erotic intelligence, again, it's movement and touch, dancing, contact dancing or sensual dancing, erotic dancing to beautiful divine music, doing yoga, doing mindful touch that releases emotional blocks and enhances our body awareness. Even Ayurvedic marma, phenomenal for this, moving the prana, moving blockages in our prana. And of course, the abhyanga, the self-oil massage with the oils that's right for your constitution, that really helps to harmonize our sensual energy. When you're doing your own abhyanga, actually touch yourself like you want your lover to touch you. Touch yourself with devotion, with awareness, with beauty, seeing your body as a temple of the divine. You're divine. God made you, and there's only one of you. There's no replacing you. So touch yourself with that kind of devotional awareness. That's not egoic. It's actually egoic to not do that. That's right. To avoid touching yourself with love, that's ego. To believe that you're not worthy of loving touch, that's the ego. That it's not egoic to believe that you're worthy of love and touch. The divine wants you loved and nurtured. The divine's love is unconditional. On every level, your sensuality is from the divine. God created you to experience itself through us, through you. So to deny yourself that is denying God the bliss of self. Another real profound tool in awakening that erotic intelligence, and even if it's already awake, cultivating it, is self-journaling, self-reflection journaling. Write about your desires, write about your fears, write about your boundaries. Understand yourself, deepen your self-awareness through journaling. Write down what brings you joy, what brings you connection in your intimacy, first and foremost with yourself, with nature, with the earth, with your lover or lovers. And from there, bring it to your partner. Create shared ritual. Have gratitude exercises. Sit with each other before touching genitals or anything and express 3 things you're grateful for. Have mindful touch. Have intentional conversations specifically around building trust and intimacy and exploring all of your fears and all of your desires together. It doesn't mean you act on every desire. It just means you bring it out to the open so it's not hidden, so it's not made to be shameful. Our desires aren't to be shamed. It's just a desire. Actually, it's just a thought. Where did they come from? They arrive like clouds in the sky, but they're ours. And so we need to own them and accept them and maybe we act on them, maybe we don't. That's not the point. The point is to be honest with ourselves, to be our authentic self, not to hide from ourselves. That's when we truly have trust. Sharing our desires, sharing everything with the people we trust the most doesn't make us good, bad, right, or wrong, sinners, not sinners, none of that. It just makes us a human being. It makes us God having a human experience. That's all. Okay? And really, I do recommend especially in a partner practice, using aromatherapy, using sandalwood oil, blue lotus oil, rose oil, tulsi oil, using these oils, anointing each other, smelling to us, blindfolding your partner, putting some oils in the palm of your hand and just having them smell, having them have that intangible experience. Having them taste some chocolates, having them taste some fruits, smell the essential oils, engage all 5 senses in intimate experiences, blindfold your partner, or have them close their eyes, touch them with different silks or feathers or oils, gaze at candles, use flowers to caress your lover, use flowers to caress yourself. If you don't have a lover, be your own lover. Make chocolate for yourself. Have essential oils. Put oils on your body. Touch yourself with silk or feathers. Stare at a ghee lamp. Stare at beautiful flowers. Caress yourself with flowers. Listen to beautiful music. Make beautiful music. Create music with your voice. With leaves. You can take leaves, tie them in a bundle and shake them. Make little rattle sounds. Make music. Life is music. Put on music and dance. Put on candles and dance, whether it's with yourself or with another. The 5 sense organs, that's Tantra. That's the 5 organs of perception. That's how we perceive this world. They're not to be shamed. We're not supposed to feel guilty about them. God created us with these sense organs to perceive the beauty of creation. No other species on this planet can perceive beauty. They are beauty. They are pure beauty. But we have the unfathomable blessing to perceive it, to witness ourself in all things. That's erotic intelligence. When we integrate our erotic intelligence with Ayurvedic principles, it becomes such a profound tool for our personal growth, our relational growth. We become better humans on every single level. We become truly embodied in and through the body. Embodiment. It's not spiritual bypass to suppress, depress, or it is spiritual bypass to suppress, repress, depress your desires, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings. We need to have a net of safety where we feel courageous enough to share who we are, to be vulnerable enough to share who we are. Ayurveda places this emphasis on understanding ourself, understanding our dosha, understanding our mental quality, and using life and lifestyle practices to create a comprehensive framework for life that includes cultivating a deep understanding of our sensuality and our intimacy. And when we align ourselves with the natural rhythms of nature in our bodies, in our consciousness, we awaken the full spectrum of who we are. We awaken the full spectrum of erotic eros. Eros is the creation. It is the power of creation. And we use it mindfully, not just for pleasure. That's a very, very small part of it. That's the tip of the iceberg. If we're only using our eros, our sexuality and sensuality for base pleasure, we're missing the whole iceberg. It's just the tip. And there's so much beauty in the whole iceberg. Our sexual energy, our erotic energy, our Kundalini Shakti is our creativity. And we can use that for not just healing ourselves, healing our relationships, healing our planet, and our spiritual awakening. Sensual, sexual, erotic energy is spiritual energy. Religion wants you to believe otherwise. Religion wants you to believe that it's a sin, that you're going to this really hot place for the rest of eternity. That is insanity. My version of that, the modern version of hell, here's how I see that version of what they're saying. So God creates a playground, the earth, the creation, and then God has a bunch of children, us, and says, go play. And so we go and play on the playground, and then we come home at the end of the day, and God, the parent, says, don't really like the way you played, my child, and leads us down into this basement and turns on the furnace as hot as possible and then locks the door forever. If that actually happened in the modern world, we'd call Child Protective Services and that parent would spend probably a good 20 years or more in prison, locked up. So this concept of hell and that we're sinners because we're engaging in the senses that God created is insane. So love yourself, love the body you were given, love the sense organs because they are divine. They came from the divine for the divine. In and through the body is consciousness. The journey of erotic intelligence is the journey of self-discovery. It is the journey of self-awakening, and it requires embracing your vulnerability, which requires immense amount of courage. It requires cultivating balance within yourself, cultivating a deep sense of security in yourself, and honoring your sacredness and your sensuality and your desire. Ayurveda's timeless wisdom tells us that this is a pathway to enhance all aspects of life. It enriches life. It is life, and it is our connection to ourself and to the divine. So go fearlessly into your eros. Go fearlessly into your body, into your heart, into your consciousness. And if you're afraid, call me, email me, drop me a note. I'm here to support you. You're here to support. We're here to support each other. Really, truly, we're here as a support. This is a community. This Awakened Living platform is a community. And with any community, we need to share. So again, please share your comments. Please share your experiences. Share your journey in the platform here. Leave your comments. It's when we share with each other, that's how we grow. That's how we learn. That's how we expand our circle of awareness. It's only through sharing that we can grow. I'm not teaching anything. This wisdom is ancient. I don't have any special knowledge. I'm not special in any way, any more special than every one of us is special. We're all divine. We're all unique. So we are special in that way, but I don't have something that anyone else doesn't have. I'm just sharing my experience. So please share yours. And if you found benefit in today's talk, today's discussion, share it with people. Share. We all do well when we all do well. So share this with family members who you think can benefit. Share it with your community. And we keep sharing one conversation at a time until we're all awake. Till we're living an awakened life. We're walking each other home side by side. That's all that's happening. And we're remembering who we are, which is love. Thank you so much for joining me, truly, sincerely, from the depth of my heart. It means so much. And I will talk to you next week. Namaste.